Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. This one should be interesting. This is a Shakespeare Tidewater. I think it's a 30. It was sent in by Rich, and well, it's a reel in the bag project without any directions. So I've worked on these in the past. I have to be honest with you, it's quite some time since I had the opportunity to work on these. I want to say 6 or 7 or 8 years ago. And well, we're going to test if I can get this done or not. How's that sound? This should be very interesting. I do have a video somewhere in my library. If I have to, I'm going to go back and look at it. But I thought this would provide me with a challenge that says, can I figure it out? Can I remember what I used to do? And can we make this one work again? So let's give this one a try, and we'll see. I'm going to do a mental kind of a exercise here in terms of trying to put as many pieces together as I can. I'm going to start with these, and I think this is upside down. There is a trip lever that's going to happen here, and I don't think I can get it inside the bridge plate if it goes that way. But we're going to find out, because it's easy enough to figure out which way the anti-reverse is going to go, and that'll tell me which way that trip lever should go there. I'm going to just kind of spill these pieces and parts in here. This is the bridge plate. Your yoke and your pinion gear, that all looks good. Your jack, that looks good. These are your pieces and parts for your drag system. That all looks good. So let's take a look. This is going to go this way, and I think we'll probably go the other way with this, because I'm looking the way that the anti-reverse is going to sit. It's probably going to be in the down position. So let's take all the rest of this stuff out of here. Find that anti-reverse. Kind of a fun little thing here. This is your anti-reverse. I just got to figure out which way that stud goes. And it'll sit like this. You're going to be thinking along with me a lot on this reel here, and I apologize. So let's tell you if you're interested in finding any information out, if you have questions on any reels, if you want to learn a little bit more about what's going on, how these reels get serviced and repaired, just leave those in the comments section. I will try to answer those for you. So that's where it's going to sit. So let's make sure that this one's coming in this way. Okay, that's the way it's going to go. Okay, once you determine the orientation of that, I put the make sure that the rectangular is holding, put the little washer underneath the main gear. And I'm going to grease this up, but I've already started a little bit of grease on there. Put a little bit more. Probably should put a glove on. I'm not cleaning that. Rich has already done that. All right. I have an odd number of metal washers, to drag washers, so we're going to take this as a base washer belongs in the bottom. I'm going to start with that eared washer. That'll hold your drag, that'll hold your gear. First of the Teflon washers. Now, they're Teflon washers, they're plastic, they're non-absorbent, they don't require any greases or oils. The second one on we'll put is a keyed washer, which holds the stem. And when you lock down, one's holding the gear, one's holding the stem. That's how they come together and support each other. Next to the Teflons, this is why I did the eared washer first, because there would be no hole for that in your main gear if you put that as the last washer. That probably wouldn't make any sense. So let's try and put these on. Then it looks like we have a collar. Well, that collar is not going to do it there, is it? So let's put this collar on, then that collar. That'll provide the pressure for your drags. And then we have a series of these tension washers that are beveled. That's also a collar there. So let's put these on. Very interesting. As I mentioned, it's been some time since I've done one of these, so I'm not 100% certain, but I have a good idea that this is kind of the way it goes. Last of that 4 of those. And we'll take that, consider that to be the one that tops this whole thing off. That's quite a drag stack there. Next, what I like to do with these is put this main gear in. And that's because you're going to have to put a back plate on this. Spent time trying to figure that out. That has to come out. You have to put the back plate in. And the best way that I find to do that is to hold this with the star adjuster. We'll do it just like that. It's going to need some room there. All right, then we showed you how this dog is going to go. So that goes in next. You want to set the dog, kick that spring out of the way so that you can set that in a moment, and then get the little stud. And you're going to notice there's 2 steps on that stud. There's a wider one and a narrower one. That's the side that's going to go into the hold. And then we should be able to grab this piece of the spring and get that over the stud on the case here. That should give us the anti-reverse now. Oh, we kicked it out there. No big deal, just need to get the piece back into the hole. Okay, so stop, and this is kind of where we are now. We've reassembled the whole gear side to the best of our thinking. We've put our anti-reverse dog in, we've pivoted it down, we've attached the spring. The next would be to put the yoke assembly in. That would be the yoke and the gear. Again, this was cleaned up, so your spool side is going to be the side with the slot. The drive side is going to be internal. A good amount of grease on that. Now we should get the 2 springs. They seem to have joined together here, which is always fun trying to get them out. One goes on each post. Like that. I'll be a little cautious here because this thing keeps moving in and out, which is why I put that star adjuster on there. Center your yoke, bring that down like that. Next up then is our jack. Our jack goes over and centers on where that little screw is going to go. Then we have our little screw. Now, needless to say, it's always the small pieces and parts that get me, and it just got me there. The anti-reverse dog just bounced off. I'd like to say that's atypical, but it's not. All right, I'm going to finish the jack installation. We'll go back and reset that dog for those of you that may have missed it the first time. install your screw, that small screw, into your jack. Now what's going to happen when this is working is this is going to come down like that. It'll be held in by the bridge plate, and this little stud on the back of the ratchet here is going to kick that up. This stud right there. Alright, let's go put this anti-reverse dog back in. And then we're just a step away from putting the bridge on. And closing this whole thing up. Alright, that's seated again. Do the same thing, kind of hold it all down. And just work that loop over that post again. So when I first started working on fishing reels quite some time ago, I've told the story before, but people have told me the advice they gave me when I started this was, you just need a couple of things. You need a little bit of mechanical ability, you need a good sense of humor, and you need a lot of patience. Well, I think this one's probably telling us all of those are true. I'm going to bring this back up. It makes it easier. Now you can see we have the yoke with the springs behind it, the pinion gear facing outwards, the jack installed, our main gear and assembly below that installed, our anti-reverse dog installed. Alright, then that only leaves this. This is the bridge plate, and I think this is probably where Rich was having a little bit of a problem. Notice that you've got a rectangular plate here. You have two sides here on this gear, so that has to level up. So let's see if we can hold this and turn the gear. All right, that's about where it should be. Let's bring the plate over. There's a tag end of the plate. One of those pivot points for that anti-reverse dog goes here. The other two sit on there. The two below sit here. It's a 4-screw setup. Kind of looks and works like this. And now you just have to work to make sure that you've got that shoulder in there, which we do. So now we're going to anchor that down. Then I won't have to worry anymore about that anti-reverse dog breaking off. And there's only one more piece left in this assembly. Now there's literally 2 more pieces after we put the screws in, but how about one more sub-assembly? Well, if you like this video, if you're still with me here, if you want to subscribe, I would encourage you to do that. And well, if you do subscribe, please use the notification button. That'll help you. Well, I got 2 different screws here for the bridge. At least it appears that I have 2 different screws. And I don't know which one's going which block, and I don't think it matters. Maybe it's just kind of my eyes at this point looking at this. Okay, the 2 are in there. There's one here. So he didn't send the rest of the reel in. He knew that the side plate is all that matters. The other side has just got the spool in it and the frame. This will bolt to that. And he just needed a hand with the reassembly, so that's why we're doing this. If you're wondering where the rest of the reel is, it's staying warm and comfortable back at his shop. And well, it'll be put back together again once this arrives. All right, here we go. That's that. We have the last pieces. We have a washer that goes underneath. We have an E-clip that goes on it. Some of these, if you have the Tidewaters, will have a screw in there. Some will use the E-clip. Either way, this is where it goes. Set. With any luck, this is going to turn free and easy. Just like that. This is going to release. Pulls it back so that your spool can engage. And if we set this up right, when I turn this now, it'll trip it back up automatically. Rich, you got one that's going to work again. How do you like that? I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. And again, if you'd like to see more of these, please subscribe. And, well, like the video. Enter your comments, questions, and answers. I'll be happy to try and address those for you. This one's ready to go fishing again as soon as it gets attached to that spool and frame. Before I leave, I want to take a moment to thank our first responders, our police, fire, safety, rescue, everybody involved in keeping us out of harm's way. And thank you for the career choices you've made and for your dedication to service. I want to thank you for watching. I want to wish everybody great times on the water, fun fishing, and, well, success in keeping your reels serviced and ready to go out there to catch the big one. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, wishing everybody a great day.